Welcome back to Burning Over Bushcraft. Today we're going to be looking at a camp work light and power bank from Sunblesa. So I already did a review on the Sunblesa H11 headlamp, and if you didn't see that review yet, I can put a link in the description below. It's a pretty cool, compact, super bright, like 360 lumen rechargeable headlamp. And to help keep that headlamp going, this camp work light is also a power bank. So this is really new to me. I'm used to having a headlamp or maybe a tactical type shooting lamp in camp, but I've never really carried a work light like this before. And it's got a bunch of different settings on it. You know, it's got low, medium, and high. And then I've got red and I've got strobe. So you could use a lot of these settings for a lot of different reasons. If I was walking away from camp at night or at dusk to get firewood and I wanted to make sure I could find my way back really easy, I've got a hanger here on top. So you can hang this kind of like a lantern and have a directional light. If this was slightly windy and it was twisting around a little bit, that would give you a 360-degree light radius. But this is actually a magnet here on the back side. And I've had this car camping before, and it's got a magnet on either end. So I've had my tailgate up, and I can just clip this on, and it's kind of handy to have around camp. So you can use it either car camping or hammock camping. You could suspend this in a tent as well. And you've got your headlamp for your personal navigation, but for camp use, or maybe to keep it where the designated bathroom area is, or in a kitchen area, or inside a tent, this is a kind of a cool feature to have. So if you were to have this in a tent, you can turn it on low and just kind of see inside the tent really well without completely blinding yourself or making everyone else in the campsite or campsites around you aware of what you're doing. And if it was a bad situation or you were working on something that needed a little bit more detail, you could definitely turn this up to its higher setting. So in addition to setting this up by the latrine or by your kitchen or by your water container for people coming and going, you could also set this up in your tent, and you could just suspend this or hang this. You could do the same thing inside a hammock. This is like a rechargeable light stick. So instead of carrying multiple light sticks, then you gotta carry them out with you. With this thing on its lowest setting, there's really not much glow to it. It's really a dim glow. And if you need more light for some reason, you can turn it up to a normal light. And then when you crank it all the way up, that is a significant amount of light, especially in an enclosed area like a tent or under a tarp. With this, you'd be able to repair gear items. You could plan out the day's event on a map. Instead of always having your headlamp and always just being focused immediately in front of you, this is going to light up the entire area. So having a camp light is kind of nice, but right here is the feature that appeals to me the most, and that is using it as a power bank. So with this thing, I can keep my camera going, I can keep my flashlights going, I can keep cell phones going. This is a really, really nice feature to have. Now I have had power banks before that have the little flashlight on the end of it, and that really is kind of disappointing if you ever had to use one of these. With this light, this just gives you a nice broad work area. Instead of a little rinky-dink light, this is actually usable in camp. The battery size is 5,000 milliamps, so it all depends how much you use your cell phone or how much you use your camera or what all you're recharging when you're camping, if this is going to be sufficient for a trip or if you need to carry an auxiliary spare battery. So this is definitely a little bit large for backpacking, but if you're carrying a battery anyway for your camera or for your cell phone, this kind of does multiple functions for you. So I don't really camp with lanterns anymore, but that's kind of what this reminds me of. This is just a broad lantern glow. And if you're ever in a situation when you're camping and you can't have a fire, so if you have a camping in an area where there's a fire ban or you're camping on a chickie, it's nice to have some source of light, just to light up camp that's not a headlamp. So everybody's not just glowing a light right down and there's a bunch of spotlights on the ground. This just gives a nice ambiance to camp. This is definitely something that you'll appreciate having. So I really like this. The only thing I've found with it so far is this is a USB and a USB only. Some of the newer charge cords, it's more specific. It's an Apple or an Android. This just takes a generic USB cord, which is no big deal. You just have to be aware of that before you bring the wrong cord to charge your device while you're camping. So when you're camping, I bet you're carrying something electronic, and I bet you probably want to keep it running the whole time. So if you're carrying a battery bank, it might as well do multiple functions and light up your camp as well. So definitely check this one out from Sunblesa. This definitely fits a niche that I didn't have filled before. This is something different than just a headlamp. This will light up your whole camp. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.